What's up, guys? Jades Corner back here again for yet another installment in my Fantasy Fight series. I apologize for not uploading for the last few days. I had a little bit of a burnout from YouTube because I just been posting a whole bunch of videos. I posted like 50 videos over the last 2 months, and it really just, burnt me out internally, and I needed a break from YouTube. So I apologize for the lack of communication, even though I have been communicating with you guys on the community tab, and I also apologize for the lack of videos coming out this past week. But regardless of that, hopefully these videos make up for it, because these should be out by the 20th. 20th, they're going to be like 3 fantasy fights, including this one. So today's video, we have Deucalion versus the Nogitsune. Who's coming out on top? Let's find out. Alright, so first we're going to start with Deucalion. Deucalion was a supporting character in the 3rd, 5th, and 6th seasons of Teen Wolf, who was originally a secondary antagonist, who ended up being somewhat of an anti-hero. He was first introduced in Season 3 as a blind werewolf and the primary alpha of the Alpha Pack. It was soon revealed that Deucalion had returned to Beacon Hills with the intention of not only recruiting Derek Hale to the Alpha Pack, but also potentially true alpha Scott McCall, as Deucalion wanted to achieve perfection by adding such a rare alpha to his ranks. Deucalion possessed all the standard powers and abilities of an augmented alpha werewolf, which have been heightened to an extremely high degree as a result of having absorbed the power of all of his former betas. These powers include immensely heightened supernatural strength, speed, agility, reflexes, durability, and senses, as well as accelerated healing and pain absorption. As an alpha werewolf, he was not only able to shapeshift his features into a more lupine shape by making his eyes glow bright red with no pupils, his fingernails and teeth extend into claws and fangs, his sideburns to grow into thick mutton chops, his ears grow and become pointed, and his brow becomes more rigid. But he also possesses an advanced level of shapeshifting that allows him to take a more monstrous bestial wolf form. In his alpha form, his skin turned dark blue-black, his muscle definition became more pronounced, and his face and brow became even more rigid than most were creatures. This advanced level of shapeshifting, combined with his decades of experience as a werewolf, has given him an immense level of mastery over hhis body, allowing him to fool people such as Theo Reagan into believing that he was still blind, and presumably allowing him to inhibit his sense like the werewolves in Satomi Ido's pack, as Scott McCall was unable to identify him as a werewolf by scent when they first met. Due to his alpha status, he could also use his alpha roar to force betas and omegas shapeshifters to transform or to retreat, and can inflict wounds on them that take much longer to heal than normal wounds would. He could also presumably still turn humans into were creatures through a bite or a very deep scratch, though this process could cause the human to die in some cases. Deucalion has been shown to be exceptionally skilled at using werewolf mind manipulation ritual by piercing the back of a person's neck with his claws, a ritual that is typically performed by alphas due to how dangerous it could be to the target. Not only could he view the memories of the person upon who he's performing the ritual, but he could also still suppress and modify memories to keep his true motives hidden from others. This was proven when he not only suppressed Isaac Leahy's memories of being captured at the First National Bank, but he also implanted a false memory of himself having a conversation with the other alphas that involved Deucalion saying they would plan and kill Vernon Boyd and Erica Reyes on the next full moon. In reality, Erica was already dead, and Deucalion intended to lure Derek Hale and possibly Scott McCall to the bank to force them to kill Boyd and Cora. He was so powerful that Jennifer Blake attempted to sacrifice 15 innocent humans with various traits in order to ensure that she had the necessary power to defeat him. It is worth noting that even with the powers of the 12 humans, made a mistake before, meant to say 12 instead of 15, my fault. It is worth noting that even with the powers of the 12 humans, Jennifer managed to sacrifice before their battle 3 each of virgins, warriors, healers, and philosophers, and having a single human guardian, Derek Hale, at her side. Jennifer would not have been able to defeat Deucalion without the lunar eclipse nullifying his powers for several minutes, which says a lot about him and not about her. He was also one of the few beings who knows how to steal alpha powers, or to steal powers in general of other supernatural creatures without killing them, a skill he taught the Theo Raken. Deucalion had the typical weaknesses of an augmented alpha werewolf. So that's Deucalion in a nutshell. The Nogitsune's time to shine is now. The Nogitsune was the main antagonist of Season 3 Part 2. He is a void kitsune who feeds on chaos, pain, and strife. The Nogitsune is an 1,000-plus-year-old dark kitsune with an especially powerful fox spirit who seemed to have a high skill level in his powers. However, it is likely that he has many more powers than those that were shown in the series. The powers he was shown to use on screen are as follows: super strength, super speed, agility and reflexes, accelerated healing, longevity, electricity, immunity, aura manipulation, shape-shifting, possession, pain absorption, illusion casting, zoopathy, my fault, that word was really hard to say, teleportation, cunning, he has cunning and wisdom skills, Lotharia Volpina, my fault. Those were his powers in a nutshell. Now we're getting on to the weaknesses. My fault. His weaknesses include Lotharia Volpina, change to the host, Oni demons, somewhat because he was able to. Well, the Beacon Hills Nogitsune was able to take control of the Oni demons and then use them to his will. So that's part of his powers now. Lack of sustenance. And that's pretty much all the weaknesses the Nogitsune has and the powers in a nutshell. So who do I think is coming out on top in this fight? Well, I see the fight going like this. Deucalion is going to, be as smart as he usually is. And I think the biggest downfall of Deucalion is his ego, as the Nogitsune is very calculative and smart with everything it does, as we saw when it took on the form of Stiles and was actually inside Stiles in Season 3 Part 2. And Deucalion, for the most part, he lets his ego take over him for the most part, and as we saw clearly in Lunar Eclipse, when he should have been able to kill Derek, Scott, and Jennifer Blake within seconds, but he just kept wasting time because, if you have that much power, it's gonna fuel your ego, and that's what it did to Deucalion, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to say the Nogitsune takes this fight, because we've seen the Nogitsune easily surpass everybody that was currently there in Season 3 Part 2, and the only reason they even beat the Nogitsune in the first place was because Stiles had a divine move, and Scott was able to catch Void Stiles off guard and bite him, changing his form. As I mentioned before, that's one of his weaknesses, changed to the host, since he became like a fox wolf hybrid, couldn't sustain the form and went back to his normal form as a fly. Let's also remember that the Nogitsune is truly an immortal being, as it cannot be killed, at least from the Beacon Hills one that we see. We saw the one in Chris's flashback get killed by all those Onis, but the Beacon Hills one, even though it was bit by Scott, people seem to forget constantly that it's not dead. The Beacon Hills Nogitsune is still trapped in that Triskelion case made from Nemeton wood. So yeah. Also, the Nogitsune frequently was seen with the Oni once he got that advantage on Scott's pack. So I could see the Nogitsune using the Oni much like he used the Oni to sort of do his bidding while he was doing other stuff with Scott and his group. He could use the Oni to take out and fight Deucalion at first, and then if Deucalion manages to get past the Oni, which I don't see that being the case, because we've seen dozens of Oni being able to kill even very experienced werewolves such as Aiden, and being able to kill people like Allison Argent. Even though Allison Argent's a human, not really that impressive, but still the fact that it was able to easily subdue like Scott, Derek, blah blah, this and that, is very impressive. And I think that Deucalion would have a hard time dealing with the Oni too, let alone dealing with Void Stiles, who's able to easily throw werewolves around like ragdolls like he did with Derek. So yeah, even though Deucalion is really strong and he had a really good showing and easily proved himself to be one of the strongest alphas, if not top 2 or number 1 for the strongest alphas in the show throughout that one showing we had of him in Lunar Eclipse. I think that the Nogitsune just has way too many abilities. I think the Nogitsune is far stronger than Deucalion. We didn't even see everything it was fully capable of. So yeah, the Nogitsune definitely takes this fight for me. I think Deucalion would die and the Nogitsune will walk out of this alive on top of the fact that he has the Oni at his disposal to use pretty much whenever he wants. So that's who I see winning this fight. The winner of this fantasy fights is the Nogitsune, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Who do you think would win, Deucalion or the Nogitsune? Let me know about fun stuff, and try to be civil, try not to be disrespectful. We've had a lot of people be disrespectful as fuck in the comments lately, and I don't appreciate it. So try not to be a bitch in the comments. Thank you. And without further ado, I'm Jades Corner. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and positivity as always, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also turn on post notifications so that you get notified when I post a new video every single week. And yeah, I'm out. Deuces.